how can we use the conditional statement based on the Boolean expressions? We have two keywords in Java for if and else. An if-else conditional statement is a special construct you can use to execute different blocks of statements depending on the truth value of a condition. So if the condition is true, then execute statement 1. This is why it is important to know the difference of expressions and statements. We'll have here in the condition an expression, and we will execute an statement. Okay? So if condition, it will execute the statement 1, else it means otherwise execute statement 2. So let's get back to our code. How can we write better all this mess? How can we say proper greetings based on the hour it is now? So I will comment this out. I will keep this here just for reference, and we will start over. Okay, so I'll have the int hour. Let's say now is 18. And we want to say the greetings. Hello. Good. And we want to complete with the correct expression. So we can type here, if hour is greater or equal 0 and hour less than or equal 12. We want to say this is a statement, print line, greeting plus morning. Else we'll say a greeting plus evening. Okay. So let's run once again. Okay. So here we have hello, good evening. What if we change the value assigned to our variable hour? So let's try here, maybe 10, okay? So it should be right here in my console, hello, good morning, because 10 is greater than or equals 0 and less than 12. Let's run once again. And as expected, hello, good morning. Okay. So we tested here successfully the morning and the evening statements. So first, we were trying to figure it out with all this mess. This is just a draft, okay? Please don't consider this. We were just trying with, we knew until then, and now we are constructing the correct way. But it's still incomplete because we can just say good morning or good evening. We can't say good afternoon. Is there something missing that we will see now in going back to the presentation? So here we saw the if-else statement, and we just can write our code to if something is true or otherwise. There is no third or fourth conditions. We just have if this is true, otherwise do that. So here's an example really similar to our code in the IntelliJ that we write right now. If the condition is true, then statement 1 is executed. Otherwise, statement 2 is executed. Never are both statements executed. So here we have the age equals 17. Age is less than 18. Yes, this is true. So these two lines, these two statements will be executed. Okay? Here's the explanation. The screen output will be, you're still a child, don't talk back to adults. So we can put here a lot of statements using blocks of statements. Okay, so if the condition is satisfied or not, and you want your program to execute several commands, you can combine them into a block of statements. I will come back one slide so we can discuss here. We have two statements here. Why can these two statements together be conditionated to this Boolean expression? This is because of the curly braces here. They are defining a block of code. Similarly, going back to our IntelliJ, we have other pairs of curly braces. We have here in the class. So here in the third line, you have a curly brace here, ending in the line 22. The same way here in the public static void main, this is a method. So here in line 5, we have curly braces here and here. These curly braces are defining blocks of statements. So what it is defined in a block statement, not always it is valid for another block of statements. Okay, so maybe let me show this to you, like string message. It is still morning. And this variable here, which it is an expression, so string message equals to it is still morning. This variable doesn't exist outside of this block. So what if I try here, somebody asked in the chat about the SOUT, SOUT. This is a shortcut in the IntelliJ. So if I type just SOUT, SOUT, I have this hint here, print a string to system out. So I just hit enter to complete, and system out println. So what if I try to print my variable message here? It doesn't exist. Okay, look the message here, cannot resolve symbol message. This is a compiler error message, cannot resolve symbol message. It is like it doesn't exist because the message variable, it was declared here inside the if statement. So if I try to print it here, message, this is valid because the println statement, it is also in the same block of statement. Okay? So I will delete all of this. This is just to give some examples of block of statements. Okay? This is just trash. Oops. Okay. Also this one. And we have a more clean again. Okay. So let's get back to the slides. Block of statements defined by curly braces. Okay. Also, it is important to say that the curly braces, when we have just one statement, it is optional. Okay. So here we have two statements, two print lines. So we need to use the block of statements, the curly braces. But when we have just one statement like this in else, so it is optional. I can use the curly braces or not. The result will be the same. Okay? So let's try out this on our example here of the greetings. So I just have one statement here for if it is true, and one statement so it is false. I can remove all of these curly braces, and I have to remove them all, and this is still valid. The tabs here is just to help us to see the blocks, the difference, but it doesn't really matter. So I will write this way just to highlight what I am trying to say. So I have all of these in the same line, and it is still, and this statement here, it is still conditionated to the if statement. Okay? Let's run this code. Okay, so here we have the hour equals 10. So hello, good morning. If I change this to 19, it should be show good evening. And this is what happens. Okay, so hello, good evening. But in my personal opinion, this is harder to read, and there is not much gain here using without the curly braces. So I personally prefer using the curly braces. And here, the same way. In my personal opinion, this is more clear to read. So I prefer always using the curly braces in the if-else statements, okay? So this is the abbreviated form of the if statement, as we just talked about. And we can try multiple conditions here inside a block of statements this way, and we can also combine with else if, as I said before. So to finally complete our example here, we have three conditions: good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, okay? I want to remember you that this commented code here is just our draft, okay? This is completely a mess. We were just trying to figure it out. We were just trying to draft something to the real code here below, okay? So our three conditions is 0 to 12, it is morning, 13 to 18, it is afternoon, and 19 to 24, it is evening. So here we have the first condition, greater than or equals 0, and our less than or equal 12. And we have two more conditions to represent here. So I'll get some space to write the correct code. So I have a else keyword, but this is not the final situation. We have if, this first condition, else if. I can combine these two keywords together. Else if our is greater than or equal 13 and our less than or equal 18. Finally, here we have space for the greeting. Oops, string afternoon. And finally, we have two options to represent the all the greetings situations, okay? So we can use here the else and any other case that there is not between 0 or 12 and not between 13 and 18, it will be here in the evening. It can work if we just type values between 0 and 24, but it will fail if we type values, invalid values like 25, 26, 30, and beyond, okay? So we'll define 4 situations. Else if our is greater than or equals 19 and our less than or equal 24, we'll say this one, it is evening. Any other case, which means values for from 25 and beyond, okay, maybe 100, or even negative numbers, -10, and other cases. All of these are, this is an invalid hour. So here we have a full complete code. Okay, this is our final version. So any other case we'll have here. Okay, so somebody asked in the chat, what if our value is 1230? We're just considered here the part of hours, okay? To have the complete time, like, as you said, 1230 or 1930, our code is not prepared for this situation, okay? We're just taking the hours part in a special format of 24 hours, okay? Also, our code are not prepared for the format 7 p.m. or 6 a.m., just the 24 hours format, okay? Another question here in the chat, continuing the previous one, it is because hours is of int data type. Yes, we are representing here. We have defined the hour data type as int, so we are just representing the hour part of the time, okay? We have other data types to represent times and even dates. We will study this later on this course, okay? For now, we are just studying ints, strings, and Boolean values, okay? There's a whole of other data types we will study later on this course. So here I have all the situations covered. I will run once again, just to check if our code is still as expected. Yes, hello, good evening to hour 19, hour 8. Let's run again. Hello, good morning. Let's try some invalid values. So let's try 30. Hour 30. This is an invalid hour value. So that's cool. This is an invalid hour. Okay, this is the last one situation here. That's it. Okay. So we can write in this way, else in a block, and inside another if-else statements, or we can write in this way that I showed here, else if, okay? I would like that you pay attention that there is not else if altogether. I will zoom in a lot to show you the difference, okay? So else if this is incorrect type, it is not elif, it is not with hyphen, no other symbol. It is the two words separated from with a space character, okay? So we have if, else, and we have this combination of else if, okay? Don't try something like this. If else, this is invalid, okay? The correct typing is else if, which is similar to, we broke a little here. This is true. No, this is not. So I will be here in the otherwise case, else. And here I have the if statement. This is equivalent. Okay, so else, if this one, else. I'm just messing our code, okay, just to show you how complex can be, but with no necessity. This is just being a lot of wordy, completely unnecessary, okay? So this is a real terrible way to do the same thing we did before. Oops, I think I have the one more case. Okay, now it is the equivalent. So we have here, if this expression is true, we'll have this statement, okay? If we have this other statement, or this other expression evaluated as true, we will execute these statements. Otherwise, finally, we have the last test and the last otherwise case. But as I said, this is really messy, this is really confused, this is really wordy, and our previous version, it was really better. So I will come back to our previous version. Just hitting Control Z. And this is our final version of this code. Okay?